how to get more growth in the next 12 months than you would have otherwise in the next 5 years. Now, this is more of a thought process and a way of prioritization to get the best results. That is wild, isn't it? See? Anyway, these massive birds in the community. We actually, just over there yesterday, picked up a turtle that was walking down the path and Adriana picked it up and took it to one of the lakes. But anyway, so this thought process right here is actually something that I didn't even realize was something worth really creating a video about. I didn't really think it was that big of a deal, albeit that I didn't learn it from anybody else. It was just something that I felt was a bit of a realization point that I had. It was something that when I brought it up to somebody I was playing pool with recently, who had seen me play pool like 3 months ago and then played pool with me a few weeks ago, and he was like, the speed of how much better you got is weird. And I said to him that I already knew exactly why that was. Now, let's get things straight. I'm not a professional pool player or anything like that. Just probably wasn't very good initially, and then got half decent and can hold my own in competitions and stuff now. But anyway, and this wraps around into growing your coaching business very quickly as well, because the thought process behind this is exactly the same thought process that allowed me to get out of a terrible situation, scale my first business and ultimately be able to sell it, and then be able to scale my own coaching business very quickly without having to work full-time hours and things of that nature as well. So I'll get to it, but what I said to him was, I had a realization point in my very first business when basically we were like 7 months into promoting our first big show. We had already signed our lives away for like hundreds of thousands of pounds of expenses, and we were barely selling any tickets for this thing at that point. And we were in a really, really sticky situation, really hot water. And believe me, with our marketing, we were doing everything that online coaches do today. To try and problem solve the fact that they don't have enough leads and sales. We were posting 3, 4, 5 times a day sometimes on every social media platform that we possibly could. We had profiles on Facebook Personal, Facebook Business, we had Instagram accounts, we had a YouTube channel, we had LinkedIn account, we had our personal LinkedIn, we had a page for the business on LinkedIn. We were posting so much content, custom created daily, and we even started trying to create different content for different platforms to try and get more from it. We then started doing follow on follow. We were messaging hundreds of people in the fitness space per day. It was absolutely crazy what we were doing, and we were just like, we were selling tickets, but we needed to sell thousands of tickets to break even. And so it was just never going to get there. We were 4 months out. We were in really sticky situations. We had invoices for multiple tens of thousands of pounds each, all overdue, and people threatening not to, and there's a hawk, threatening to not come to the show, not build the show, not allow us to run the show, even though we'd already sold tickets for it, and all of those things. And it was a really sticky situation that we were in. And then I realized at that point that every single goal that we have, any business that we want to grow, any sport that we want to get good at, basically anything that we want to do is always broken into multiple parts, and you're never going to be phenomenal at all of them. But if you can identify the things that can move the needle the most, and you disproportionately put your time, energy and effort into those things, that's when rapid growth happens. And so with the business in that situation, what I realized was, because we actually had already started doing this a little bit by that point, But with our Facebook ads, we were already getting something like a 6 or a 7x return on our ad spend, and we were just like teasing it. We were only doing a small ad spend, really, if I'm being honest. And by the way, just for context, this is like 11 years ago. This isn't like 2 years ago, and now I teach Facebook ads, and this is a long time ago. But when I realized that just intuition around how to utilize Facebook ads more than anything, we were already getting a good return on ad spend, and our thinking process, or my thinking process I should say, take responsibility for it, was that we don't have a lot of money, really any, to be honest, and so we can't spend more on ads, even though for every pound that we put in we would get £6 or £7 back. So it was literally like printing money. And so it was in that moment that I realized that if I want to double the volume of daily ticket sales, it wasn't going to be in going from posting 4 times a day to 8 times a day. I wouldn't even have had the time to have done it, even though it wouldn't have actually been the thing that moved the needle. I could actually double the ad budget. It could take me all of about 7 seconds to make that decision and make that happen, and then get the result on the other side. And so when you, compartmentalize different goals and different things that you want to achieve, and you break them down, and you realize that every single thing that we ever want to achieve is always a bigger thing that has multiple parts within it, then if you're able to identify the things that can move the needle the most and really focus on those things and those things only, then you can get disproportionate, rapid results. And that's why so many coaches come to us who have been in mentorships and programs and different things, and it's all about cold DMing or posting on social media, or almost highlighting like, oh, you shouldn't use ads until you're at 25k a month inside your coaching business and things of this nature. Position it like a risk, even though I would say that the riskiest thing is risking your time, energy. And if you, for instance, are like, because you don't have to spend thousands on ads, we start everybody at £20 per day. Sorry, now we're into the sun. So you have to start at £20 per day with your ad spend. It's not a lot at all. It's not a high risk, especially because we usually have a positive ROI within the first 7 to 9 days. So it's not a big risk whatsoever. Something that's much more risky is saying, okay, for the next 12 months, I haven't been able to grow my coaching business very quickly without ads. So let's just see if something will change by continuing to put tons of time, energy, and effort into social media, slightly tweaking my content, increasing the volume of content. Instead of sending 100 messages a day, let's send 120 and see if something significantly changes. For me personally, if I'm looking at a coaching business and marketing, and the thing that with a little bit of focus put into it can have the most disproportionate results, well, we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of case studies of coaches in different niches with different prices, different product styles, high ticket, low ticket, mid ticket, who have struggled for years using organic methods, even from, inverted commas, the best programs out there, and then they finally have an ad strategy that's right for them, and they absolutely accelerate and grow that coaching business through the roof really quickly to 6, multi-6, and even 7+ figures inside their coaching business. It is the thing, it is the shortcut. And so for me in the first coaching business, having that realization that there's about 150 different things that I can do, there's about 150 different things I am doing, but the very thing that can get me the most disproportionate results by focusing on it, getting good at it, and putting my energy into making sure that it's always running smoothly and at its optimum capacity, it was the ads. And that was it. And it was that realization point that allowed us 4 months later to have thousands of people at the event, to make it a really great success, to be able to do a second year, a third year, a fourth year, and ultimately sell it to a really, really great company that still owns it now. So without breaking it down and thinking about, okay, there's a million things I can do. What are the very things that are going to disproportionately get me the biggest result, or accelerate my learning, or accelerate my growth? That is the game changer there. And so with the pool, when we were playing, I said to him about the realization in the very first business. The second thing I said was, well, I realized, first of all, one part was a piece of advice from a really great pool player that hammered me in a competition. And he said, like, you're really good at potting balls, but you don't have control over the white ball. He said, for the next couple of months, stop focusing on potting balls and just focus upon trying to get the white ball in the perfect place after the shot is taken. And that was a game changer. Another thing was realizing that it's not just about being able to pot balls or even have the right position for where the white ball will end up. You also need to just be able to understand, before you take your very first shot, what is the pattern that is possible here. That if I get everything right, I pot every ball, that it's even possible for the opponent not to get back to the table. So understanding patterns was number 2. And then number 3 was a realization point that about 98% of the shots that you take in a game of pool are, inverted commas, easier shots, right? They're not actually difficult shots. They're not super strategic, hit this ball off of that ball so that it hits this cushion and then hits this ball and then goes in. No, it's usually like an angled shot and you need to hit it into the pocket. And so something that I was doing previously was always focusing upon practicing the difficult shots. And then I realized that, well, actually, if I practiced the easier shots most of the time and rarely got them wrong, as it were, then I would have a lot more success. And doing those 3 things, being able to identify there's a million different things that I can practice, there's a million different things I can focus upon. If I focus on those 3 things, then I'm going to be much, much, much more successful, to the extent that my friend thought it was pretty wild, the speed of progression in those couple of months. And like I say, this is the same in growing a coaching business. This is the exact same thing with the coaches that we work with. It's the exact same thing in my own coaching business. I'm always focused upon what is going to give me the most disproportionate results in terms of time, energy. Nearly went into a spider web there. That would have fucking killed me. I hate spiders so much. Don't know about you, but definitely not in the climate for being petrified of spiders. But funnily enough, absolutely love looking at them. Take me to a zoo. Really want to go to the reptile tank every time, but yeah, never never like even seeing the smallest of spiders here. But anyway, this one's a bit of a thought process, but I think that with the examples, I think most people can go, yeah, actually, whether it's about growing your business, whether it's about getting in shape, whether it's about anything else, playing pool, whatever your sport is, understanding that there's only a couple of things. It was the exact same thing when I went back into football, actually. When I got back into football, and I went back in, and the only thing that I was ever almost always the best at on the entire pitch was actually nothing to do with football. It was just about athleticism and speed. And so when I got back involved and I realised I was still faster than most people, and maybe my touch wasn't quite there yet, but I had already done a trial, had already got brought into the team, and I was already going to be involved in games from the very next week. I changed all of my training from like strength-based training more than anything, a little bit of hypertrophy training, to everything that I was doing throughout the week was based upon accelerating speed. So it was all a bunch of different things that had to change there in terms of programming. But my point being that this literally touches anything. It doesn't matter if you want to get good at chess, if you want to get good at a certain sport, if you want to grow your coaching business or any other type of business, being able to break the thing down that you're looking to do and say, okay, what is the very thing here that if I focus on this part of what I'm trying to achieve, that it can give me the best disproportionate and accelerated growth, education, results. Identifying that thing and going all in on it instead of spreading your bets. That's the thing. It's been a complete game changer for me anyway, for so many of our coaching clients, and hopefully for you too. If you've been watching this on YouTube, do all the usual stuff if you found any value in this. It has been a bit of a waffle, I'll agree, but if it's been valuable to you at all, then do all the usual stuff that the algorithm likes. Like, subscribe. If you're a really great human, drop a comment, and as always, I'll drop into the description below all the information about the private coaching. If you want to come and find out anything about working with us, you don't even need to book a call. We'll literally send you a PDF that walks you through the whole program, even the prices. We don't make anybody go into high pressure closing calls with a professional closer on the other side of the world. If you want to know more, I'll drop that down below as well. Other than that, team, hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll speak to you soon.